Nissan drive-by. Katie's not much of a dancer. I am.
I think I am, but I know I'm not. So I try not to do it on camera.
Everybody's a dancer. We are going to do this amazing drive-by. You know, there's a way I pick people to put them in here, and there's a message behind everyone that I put in this vehicle with me, and it's of inspiration, of motivation, and to help you. And Katie's story, I really think, can help a lot of you. And other than that, if it doesn't help you, you're just going to be like, oh, that's so cute. So either way, you're gonna get something out of this drive-by. Let's just see your dance moves before we put it into drive. Ready? Katie Element is a newborn photographer based out of my region, but in this beautiful hamlet of Douro, Ontario. And you're in the old PG Towns store, and it is like picturesque. I have to like find the side roads in Douro that we're driving on, because when we drive too fast, the sound of the engine goes over top of our audio.
Well, the side roads are like horrible in Douro.
And then they're bumpy. Yeah. So it's either like or this, right? Can we tell everybody a little bit about your situation? Where were you working? I don't know if you want to say the place or not.
Oh yeah, I don't mind.
You were making a good wage.
I was making a very good wage. My husband and I both worked at Quaker Oats, so I was working on the line. I had been there for 15 years before I quit, so I had a good pension coming to me. My husband and I both had benefits, so you know, we didn't pay really for any of the kids' dental or anything like that. I made a good hourly wage, 40 hours a week. My husband and I worked opposite shifts, so we didn't even really need daycare. But after the birth of my third child, and I went back to work, and our life was crazy. I never got to see my kids. I became the wait a minute mom. And I became the yes mom too, right? So I always had one day a week I could go get my groceries done. Tired, exhausted, working on 4 hours sleep here. We have this, mom, sure. Just put it in the cart. I couldn't be, and alarm bells went off. I'm like, this is not how I set out to raise my kids, right? My kids, they need my time. They don't need, you know, whatever they're offering at the grocery store that week.
We might even need sunglasses today because it's actually sunny. Previous to this, before I went right back to work, I had taken a course with Jennifer Moher, amazing photographer. You probably have all heard of her.
Jennifer is amazing. So I had taken a workshop with her for moms with cameras, right? Because I wanted to take better pictures of my kids at home. I had bought the DSLR camera, but my pictures, like, oh, they, you know, I have this great camera, but they still didn't look like, you know, the professionals. So I took a workshop with her to learn how to use my camera and a little bit of editing. And from there, But you were still working. I was still working at this point. I wasn't even thinking of going into business. Now, granted, I was thinking of something I could do from home, but this still never even crossed my mind. Like, I didn't want to go into a photography business. I didn't know what I was doing, right? So eventually, just after taking photos of my kids and stuff, I realized I really liked it, and that I possibly could make a living at it. And so from there, again, while working, still working opposite shifts than my husband told me if I could make enough money to cover my half of the bills, because I don't think he believed I could do it. Like, I honestly, because he did not see the value in having pictures done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him, he would never spend.
It's actually probably almost a great thing, because you need that one person that's kind of like
skeptical to drive you.
Prove it. Prove it.
So I sure showed him. I mean, yeah. There you go, Daryl. Really? Like, do you ever have a bad day at work?
No.
Honestly, how could you have a bad day?
How many times have you been pooped on?
She might poop on me right now, yeah. But yeah, it used to scare me. I was like, I'm just not another mom with a camera, but guess what? I am, and I'm proud of it, right? I am a mom with a camera. That's me, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Oh, I heard that one.
And it was terrifying. And it was a change of mindset too, that I had to change my way of thinking. There were many opportunities that had possibly come to me along the way, but I always had an excuse not to do them. Well, I can't because we work shift work, or I can't because no one will watch the kids. But for this, I had to train my brain to say, do you want it? Then you need to find someone to watch the kids. You need to, you don't have time to do it, then you need to find a way to make the time. A wise person once said, you miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
Oh, Wayne, we love ya. We love you, Wayne. These are the people I love in my Pathfinder, and the irony is that we're in a Pathfinder, right?
Yeah,
honestly.
True.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who Simon Sinek is. If anybody is looking for somebody that is, inspired by this video, he wrote this book. It's like a huge best-selling book, and it's Find Your Why.
Mm-hmm.
What's your why? And if I were to ask you that question, what was your why?
My kids. Absolutely, my kids. I didn't like missing anything. I wanted to be the mom on the school trips, and I wanted to be, the mom that was there to catch them off the bus every day. And granted, my husband was there to do it for me because we worked opposite shifts, so they always had a parent there, but it needed to be me, and I wanted it to be me. And to go back to school for anything, I couldn't think of anything I wanted to do. And this, I just fell in love with this and realized that I could make a living out of it.
There's a real safety aspect of what you do that I think a lot of people don't think about, myself included. I didn't until I spent time with you in the studio and watched you work. People are like, oh, I'm going to take pictures of my baby myself because, I don't have the money, or I don't want to deal with it, or I don't want to leave the house because I'm a mess, a hot mess, physically, and all of these other gross things that we won't get into after you have a baby. But, there's a real safety aspect to the pictures you see online.
Yes.
What's the hardest pose?
For me, I know it varies for people, but for me, it's definitely, it's the froggy pose. It's this one here. And that's the one where all hands should be underneath the baby take one photo, hands on top of the baby, take the photo, and then you chop them in half and put it in Photoshop and join the two. Babies don't sit like that on their own.
Like every time I do a drive-by, every time people finish their statement or whatever their what their message is, and I turn on a song and it's completely in line with whatever you just said.
That's crazy, eh?
Is that weird?
It's true.
Break free from the chains.
Break free from the chains. Yeah. One piece of advice for somebody out there that's watching that is thinking of taking that leap of leaving their cushy job. What would you say?
Well, I made a lot of mistakes, right? Like I made a lot of mistakes in my particular business, so I don't want to go into the details of that. But basically, just claw your way to the top. Like you get knocked down, get back up again. You turn a corner and it's you're not where you're going. Then reevaluate and start. Keep going. Like you need grit, I think is the word. I think if it doesn't work the first time, try again.
Someday somebody's gonna make you wanna turn around and say goodbye. Until then, baby, don't you need to let it hold you down and make you cry? Don't you know? Don't you know? Things will change now. Things will go your way if you hold on.
TransCanada Nissan, proud sponsor of MF's Drive-Bys, where satisfied customers are our best salespeople.